Let's take a look at another example of how to solve a rational equation. Here we have a rational equation that we need to solve. Again, the approach is going to be determine what that least common denominator is, multiply both sides of the equation by that least common denominator, which should clear all denominators and remove all fractions, and then you consider doing whatever necessary steps remain to actually solve the equation. Before I get too far into this, I just want to kind of comment on the restrictions on the variables. That's going to play a major role in this particular problem, so I'm going to bring it up now. Remember, from this right here, x cannot be -2, because if x was -2, you would have a 0 on the bottom of this fraction, making this piece undefined. X can also not be 0, because that would make this have a 0 on the bottom and be undefined. So our restrictions on the variables, remember, x cannot equal -2 or 0. That's going to be important as we go through and solve this problem. So now, we look at this. The least common denominator here would be x times x plus 2. So we're going to go ahead and multiply both sides by that. This side of the equation is going to get multiplied by x and x plus 2. Same over here. It's going to get multiplied by x and x plus 2. Over here on the left side, as I distribute this into each of these fractions, when I distribute it into the first fraction, this x plus 2 and this x plus 2 will cancel out and just leave me with x times 2, which is 2x. And then when I distribute it into this fraction, the x and x here will cancel out, and I will just be left with -1 times the x plus 2. Over here on this side of the equation, the x and the x will cancel out, the x plus 2 and the x plus 2 will cancel out, and I will be just left with -4. And at this point in time, I have no more fractions remaining in the problem. I've cleared the denominators away, and now I just need to continue to simplify and solve for x. Here I have 2x. Go ahead and distribute my -1 into both of these to get -x minus 2 equals -4. Combining my like terms right here, I have x minus 2 equals -4. And then finally, adding 2 on both sides will leave me with x is equal to -2. However, x can't be -2. We had that as one of our restrictions on the variable. So the only value of x that has a chance to make this equation true actually doesn't satisfy the original equation, because it would make this piece and this over here be undefined. Because of that, we say that this equation has no solution. Again, make sure you're remembering what your restrictions are on the variables so that you don't get this question wrong. If this was one of the problems that you were trying to work out on an assignment and you say, oh, I did all this algebra and x should be -2. Well, it can't be. So just pay attention for that.